Hello, it's a privilege to be with you on yet another episode of the Activate series. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. Today, I'm going to be considering a very important topic, one that is very integral to your success. It's very relevant for your success journey, right? So, today, I'm going to be focusing on creating plans or how to write a plan that can help you succeed, right? It's amazing how many people don't write plans or how many people don't make plans, but we all want to arrive at a desired destination. We all want to achieve our goals, right? But most of the time, many people are not willing to make plans, and that is why it's very important that you learn how to make plans if you're going to arrive at success, right? So what is a plan? What is planning, right? Planning is just a set of strategic steps or actions that you lay out to achieve your desired goal or objective, right? So what that means is that for you to even write a plan or for you to make a plan in the first place, you need to have a goal in mind. You need to have an objective, something you're trying to achieve, right? So that your plans are written to achieve that goal or that objective, right? So you have an objective, you have something you want to achieve. A plan is like a roadmap. It helps you to see how you can actualize that goal, right? So the problem most of the time is many people have goals, many people have objectives, but have many very little people have written down steps or have written down the actions that will allow them to arrive at that destination, right? So if you're watching me, if you're listening to me, you have a goal. It's not just okay to have a goal. You need to have a set of actions, not just actions, but very strategic actions that can allow you to arrive at that desired destination, right? So that's what the plan is in a nutshell, right? It's a roadmap that shows you how you get to your desired objective or your desired goal, right? So why do we need to make plans? Why should we even make plans in the first place? Because if you don't realize the importance of plans, chances are that you're going to find it difficult to make plans, right? When you don't see the importance of something, you find it difficult to prioritize it, right? So for you to prioritize your plans, or for you to prioritize making plans, you have to understand the importance of plans. Now, planning is very important. I mean, it's so important that even God Himself is a master planner, right? As evidenced in creation, if you look at the sequence of activities, the sequence of creation, you'll discover that the things that were happening, or the sequence in which creation happened, showed that this happened according to a plan, right? The first thing God created was light, and then after light, other things came in place. And after He made every other thing, He now created man at the end. Now imagine if He made man first, it would have been very chaotic, right? Putting man in a place where there was no earth, or there was no vegetation, there was no light, and all those other things He created in between. It just shows that there was very careful thought process, or there was very careful thinking that happened before creation had to happen. I'm just saying all this to let you understand that planning is very important, that even God Himself doesn't ignore it, right? And that brings me to the point I want to make. If you're going to grow, you need to learn how to make strategic plans. And why is that? Plans helps you to be very orderly. It brings orderliness to your endeavors, right? So it's like a three-step process. You make plans. When you make plans, you get to be very orderly, and when you're orderly, you get to grow, or you get to achieve your objectives, right? Now, growth never happens in a chaotic place. If you're a person, if you have a business, you have an organization, growth only thrives when there's orderliness, right? And if you're going to grow as a person, if you're going to achieve your goals, your objectives, you need to learn how to be orderly. You need to learn how to put orderliness to your endeavors. It's not just okay for you to work hard, right? It's not just okay for you to do the things you need to do, hustle hard and all that. You need to make sure there's a sort of orderliness to the things you're doing, right? It makes you track your progress. It makes you know the things that you've done and the things you need to put more effort into, right? So it's very important that you plan. Planning brings orderliness to your endeavors, right? And when there is orderliness, there is growth. When there's growth, it means you're achieving your objectives. It means you're achieving your goals as a person, as a business, or an organization, right? So it's very important. The planning helps you put orderliness to your endeavors. Second reason why you need to plan is that it gives meaning and value to your time, right? When you plan, it means you're taking responsibility for your time. Regardless of whether you make plans or not, time is going to go by, time is going to pass by, right? And if time passes by, it shows that you need to achieve something. It should bring you closer to your goal. The passage of time should bring you closer to the accomplishment of your overall goal, of your overall life's goal or objective, right? So making plans just shows that you are taking responsibility. You are disciplined to show that you're disciplined to put value to your time, right? So if 1 week is going to go by, what are you going to achieve in the next 1 week, right? What are the things you're going to do to make sure that you get closer to the actualization of your goal, right? Planning helps you to give value. It gives purpose to your time. But when there are no plans, when you don't have plans, you can just go by a whole week or go by a whole day or go by a whole month without actually pointing to the things that you've been able to achieve, right? So planning gives purpose to your time. Planning gives value to your time. Planning shows that you are taking responsibility ultimately for your own success, right? Okay, so another reason why we need to plan is that planning increases your chances of succeeding, right? When you plan, you have higher chances of succeeding as compared to when you don't make plans, right? It's simple. That's as simple as it gets. When you make plans, it's easier, right? You have a higher chance of succeeding as compared to when you don't make plans. When you don't make plans, you're leaving your success to luck. You're leaving your success to probability, right? And most times when things are left to probabilities, they usually it's usually ones and zero, meaning that it can work or it might not work, right? So I don't think it's wise to leave your success to chance or to leave your success to probabilities, right? More so, most people who leave their success to chance, or most people who get successful by chance or by luck, do not really last. Why don't they last? They don't last because they didn't really understand how they got to that place, right? And it will be very difficult for you to manage your success when you eventually arrive there, right? So planning helps you to increase your chance of success. Not just increasing it, it helps you to manage success. When planning, your chances are very high. It's almost inevitable when you plan. It's almost inevitable for you to succeed. If you make strategic plans and you follow through on your plans with persistence, your success is almost guaranteed, right? So it's very important that you make plans. It's very important that you spend time creating strategic plans for your success, right? So how do we create plans? How do you create a plan that guarantees success? How do you create plans that are fail-proof? How do you create plans that we ensure that you arrive at your desired destination? Well, the first thing you need to consider is that you must schedule enough timing to plan, or you must schedule enough time to planning. Right now, most times people get the idea that planning is just you just get to think about it and then in 1 day or 2 days you can come up with a plan. Writing a very strategic plan takes a lot of timing. It takes a lot of effort for you to create plans. I can tell you this firsthand because I write business plans for people. I write business plans for organizations, right? So I know the amount of time it takes for you to come up with strategies that work. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of brain power for you to come up with strategies, not just strategies on the surface, but strategies that can really work, right? So if you're going to create plans that are going to succeed, you must ensure that you give enough time to planning. Sometimes planning even takes more time than execution. Yeah, planning can take more time than execution. That's because you need to think about every process that's going to lead up to your success. You need to think about everything that needs to be done for you to arrive at your destination of success. And it takes a lot of time, right? So if you're going to create plans, if you're going to write up plans, you have to give yourself time to brood over the ideas, to brood over the processes, to brood over the things you need to do to actualize success, right? So schedule enough time for creating plans that will work. Secondly, you need to have your overall objective in front of you. You need to have your overall goal in front of you. If you're going to succeed, just like I said from the beginning, you need to understand that plans are made to fit a particular purpose or a particular goal, right? So it's very important that when you're writing your plans, when you're creating your plans, you have your goal in front of you. When you see your goals, it's easier to write out the roadmap that can lead up to that place, right? So um, in whatever form you need to, in whatever form you can, make sure you have your goals always in front of you. Make sure you have your goals in front of you as you create your plans, right? When you see the destination, it's easier to create a roadmap or to create pathways that can make you arrive at success or arrive at that destination, right? So it's very important you have a vision, you know where you're going to, you know what you want to achieve, and then create plans that can lead up to that place, right? Then you also need to learn how to break down your plans into smaller chunks, right? Uh, there are plans that can span for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right? There are plans that can span through 1 year, but you're not going to actualize or achieve those plans in just one day. You need to learn how to break down the plans. You need to learn how to chop them down into sizes, right? So if you're going to have a plan or have a goal for a year, for instance, you need to write plans that fit that time duration, right? You also need to have plans that can fit the duration of a month, of 1 month, of 1 week, of 1 day. Now, when you learn how to break down your overall goal, it's easier for you to make plans in smaller chunks, right? It helps you to really track your progress. It helps you to know the things that you have done to actualize your success. It helps you to understand the things that you need to put more effort in to realize your success, right? So if you're going to make plans, sometimes our goals are very ginormous. We write very big goals, very big visions, and all that. But we need to learn how to break them down into smaller chunks. When we do that, it's easier to write smaller plans that can help us to actualize the overall picture. Now, one final step, and I think this is the most important step in creating strategic plans, is to be persistent, right? You need to learn how to be persistent. What happens when you write plans and they don't succeed? What happens when you create a plan and it's not working according to your plan, right? You need to be persistent, but persistence comes when you've created enough strategy in your plans. Remember, I said plans won't just work because they are plans. Plans will work because they are strategic enough. Because most times, situations or circumstances will not allow you to just have your way, right? So you need to create backup plans. You need to create a system of activities or a system of actions that can allow you to still achieve your objectives when your plans don't work. It's kind of what they say about having plan A to Z, right? So most of the time we just make plan A and we try to work with plan A, and when plan A doesn't work, we fall back and we think that we can't get it done, right? Most of the time is because we've not exhausted the options, right? So when you make plans, learn to create backup plans as well. That is the core of strategy. That when you make a plan and you begin to execute it, it doesn't really work. most of the time, right? So what you need to do is what I like to call a what if analysis, right? So what if your plans don't work? What do you do? What if your plans don't materialize the way you expected them to? For instance, if you're trying to build a career, if you're trying to take your career to the next level, and let's say you need to get, let's say, a master's degree or a PhD degree, or whatever degree you need to get, and you don't have the money to do that, what do you do? Right? So the plan is that you need to get a degree to boost your career, but you can't really get that. So what is the alternative plan that you're going to create for that to happen? Right? You could try self-learning, for instance. There's literally nothing you cannot learn today, right? Self-learning can be a backup plan, for instance, to wanting to get a degree to boost your career, right? That's just an example I'm giving. I'm trying to make you understand that whatever plan you have, you need to have backup plans. Sometimes, surprisingly, the backup plans even works way better than the original plans we make, right? So if your plans are going to succeed, you need to learn how to create backup plans. You need to work with the other alphabets. Don't just sit on plan A or plan B or plan C. You have up to plan Z to make sure that you arrive at your desired destination. All right, so thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I'll really appreciate it if you like and subscribe to this video. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.